Hey guys, this is John with Front Run Money. Thanks for hitting play. We're gonna do something a little bit different with our articles this time, and this is my thought experiment to see if we can drive better content engagement. What I've realized is that there is for sure a segment of the population that's interested in emerging technology, Web3, Ethereum, the future of digital money. They're probably discontent with the status quo. They probably believe that the middle class is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as corporate donors control both sides of the political spectrum. It doesn't matter what side of the party you're on. If you are not a billionaire class member, you are screwed. That I've concluded to be true. But within that same segment of the population, some of them probably don't want to read a 10 or 15-minute article that outlines the state of digital money or how the corporate class controls what we do and how we think, right? So to solve that challenge, we're going to create introductory videos that accompany every article to summarize the message we're trying to convey. And I'm a fan of one-take shots, not doing highly edited videos, because I feel there's authenticity in the rawness of the content that's created that kind of gets lost when you see these super curated videos that, I don't know, you see on other networks. But with that said, let's dive into it. The first article we're gonna cover together was actually a conference I attended this past weekend in San Francisco called EDCON. EDCON is an Ethereum meetup where the heavy hitters from the Ethereum Foundation come, they talk about the future of the Ethereum network, proof of stake, proof of stake, proof of stake. I think they said proof of stake 1,000 times that day. But they also talked about life post-merge, like what does scalability look like? How do we think about censorship? How do you learn and grow Ethereum? The list goes on. And my big takeaway that you'll see in the analysis that we're publishing is that there is for sure a motivation to cultivate learning curriculum focused on Ethereum. Think about how you want to learn about Web3, like what is a smart contract, what is a node today. It's super piecemeal and it takes hella effort. So UETH, which is the University of Ethereum and the sponsor of EDCON, is creating an online curriculum that actually uses proof of motivation as well as AI to facilitate Ethereum learning. I thought this was a super novel concept in that as you progress through the curriculum, you are rewarded with reimbursements in your tuition, right? That's the proof of motivation. You complete the course, you get the motivation, or maybe you have the motivation and you complete the course. But as part of the ongoing curriculum, they use AI such that you have to complete a series of open-ended questions that the machine parses to assess your competency. So for example, maybe you have to describe, hey, what is a node? And you actually have to say, by typing it in, a node is a computer on the blockchain that verifies transactions in the ledger, or whatever it is, right? And then the machine will actually assess whether you're right or wrong. So it's a good way, I think it's a good way to actually learn more about the platform. Jury's out to see the effectiveness on it though. With the education piece aside, there is a big focus on proof of work to proof of stake and the benefits of that, okay? I'm for sure an ETH maxi, and I believe that Ethereum is the Web3 ecosystem of choice, right? To me, it draws parallels to Apple. But the case made around proof of work to proof of stake is really related to the energy consumption that will be saved as a byproduct of staking versus mining. And although I tend to agree with that, I think what's potentially being missed, or at least not focused, is the possibility of a 51% attack. So if you just think programmatically about what it would take. You have to control 51% of the network. How would you do that? In proof of stake land, you go out and you acquire 51% of the staked ETH. I think it's $16 billion today, right? And proof of work land, how would you go and obtain control? You have to get 51% of the hash rate, which is the mining power from the rig, okay? So play it out. You wanna go and buy a bunch of machines to control 51% of the total power. That's super hard. Number one, you gotta buy the machines. Number two, you have to find a place to store them. Number three, you actually have to pay for the electricity to do it. Compare that with proof of stake land, you just gotta go out and buy the Ethereum and stake it, right? So I think that needs to be better analyzed and perhaps more nuanced than what was covered, and we've covered that, pros and cons, in the article. Part 2 is related to what we call crypto economic security, which is essentially a series of actions baked into the Ethereum code that could incentivize humans to behave in a certain way that is economically advantageous to Ethereum as a financial asset. So for sure, we can buy into that. One analysis is like, okay, you're a staker. How do you incentivize stakers to behave such that they don't do bad things on the network, right? Well, economic incentives could be slashing, right? So that was brought up a lot. If you slash the stakers' Ethereum, they're highly disincentivized to actually do anything bad because they're gonna lose their money. So that is, I don't know, something that we could explore, but it's part of a much larger discussion about monetary premium that the Ethereum network can provide. Last but not least, and this is the part of the speech that Vitalik covered, was what does the future of Ethereum look like post-merge, right? How do we scale? And I think we can all agree that a large part of scaling on Ethereum is a byproduct of layer 2 adoption, right? So think about Arbitrum, think about Optimism, and how both of those layer 2s are probably on average 3 to 8 times cheaper than what's on layer 1, right? But that's not good enough. More work needs to be done. So the case brought up by Vitalik is that we're going to increase the blockchain capacity while decreasing the size of storage required, right? So the capacity to store data goes up via dank sharding and proto-dank sharding, while through compression and encryption, the actual quantity of data that you need to store goes down. Check it out. I think it's an interesting analysis. There's 3 EIPs that pertain to that. If you are technically inclined, I encourage you to actually go down the rabbit hole and look at it for sure. And last but not least, what a trip. Ethereum's such a weird community, and that's part of what attracted me to it. Vitalik comes out in a freaking dinosaur costume. I mean, how wild is that? Stay classy, Ethereum. Let me know what you think about this video. This is off the cuff, unedited, one video. I'm gonna see if we can do this on an ongoing basis, because I really think it might help cultivate engagement and provide a raw sense of authenticity behind the content that we write, that I'm not just some rando, I don't know, nerd writing blogs on the interwebs. All right, cool. Thanks for hitting play. See ya. Bye.